Okay, hey guys. So last week I looked at reboot persistence. So we were using modules or writing scripts for etc/rcd, like that. This guy. It helps if I load it up. Yeah, so this is like the utility that FreeBSD uses for starting up daemons and that sort of stuff, like automatically when we boot the machine up. So this was really nice because we were able to reboot the machine and our rootkit persisted. We then wrote a module that would hide files, so we used that to hide the existence of our entry in the RCD script. The problem we had was it was just hooking get dir entries, and it was doing a string compare for like the file name between like what we were looking for and what was in the directory, and if it was in that directory we would remove it. So the issue we sort of came up with here was, what if the user creates their own file with the same name? And we saw that when we made a file called file module in a different directory. When we tried to ls, we couldn't see it, and that's because our rootkit was filtering it out. So I've changed this a little bit this week. The code is not very different. It took me a little while to get it to work. I'll sort of talk you through it and show you the issues that I had. So the other thing I've started playing around with is trying to hook open as well. What I'm interested in doing is if the user tries to open a file that we don't want them to, we're going to try and hook that and tell them, sorry, this is a file that doesn't exist, if that makes sense. So really hiding it, because right now it's hidden in the sense that it won't show up in ls, and if they try and tab for completion, then it won't show up there either, because that tabbing is calling get dir entries. So that won't work either, and that'd be pretty cool. Like if they try and open a file, we get the expected behavior of like, well, it doesn't exist. I've been having a couple of issues with that. It's something I kind of want to explore a little bit more this week. So the first part of get dir entries is the exact same as what it was last week. We make the system call and then we filter through each entry. The difference is this bit here. Okay, so we're now calling kern stat@, and what stat@, does is it will do like a stat system call, but relative to a file descriptor. So we have the file descriptor of the directory that the user created. And so using that and like the base name of the file, like in that directory, so like the relative path of it, I guess, we are then able to get the stat entry for that file. I then call stat@ again on the file we want to hide, which is this guy. And this is kind of similar to how open worked in the keylogging module that we wrote. If we give it the current working directory macro, and then we pass it absolute path, it'll treat it as absolute. So we get the stat entry for the absolute path to this file module here. What we're then going to do is we're going to do a comparison between their inodes. If they're the same inode, we then want to remove it. If they're different inodes, well then they're different files, right? So we just ignore it and we let it stay there. I kind of like this because it means that we can sort of open it up a bit more as well. I'd like to change this a little bit and have like a list of files, and then we'll do that for each of them. Like each time we call get dir entries, we'll get the inodes of every file that we want to hide, and we'll just do a quick comparison between them, and then filter as required. So I'll just check if I've got this loaded already. I don't, so I'm going to do a quick make and then load it in. What did I call it? It's hide. Cool. So you can see now that it's running, we can see like that file module in this working directory. So before, when we had just the string comparison, this was hidden too. So now a user can make a file module in any other directory and it won't show. If we do an ls on this bit now, and I try to grep for the file module, you'll see that it doesn't show. But if I unload this module we just made, you'll see it's there. So that's pretty cool. So that's really all I did this week. I didn't have as much time as I was hoping I would have this week. We also don't really have that much left to do though. So we've got like a week and a half until my week 8 tutorial now. The only thing that I really want to be able to do now, like the only thing I've got left is we've done keylogging, we've got a remote shell, we're now able to hide files, and we have persistence. So last week I also looked at hiding processes. That could do with a little bit of improvement, and it would also be nice to hide the existence of our rootkit by modifying KLDstat. So I'm pretty sure that's a system call too. And that would be nice to, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a system call. Yeah. So we need to hook that too. And then really we just need to write like a script that will tie this all together. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching again this week, guys, and I'll catch you later.